88.5 Soufriere FM presents Let's Connect every Tuesday from 5:30 p.m. with your host Reniata D'Souza. Also live on Facebook. Be sure to tune in as we present you with updates on local activities, events, businesses, initiatives, and upcoming opportunities for all. Let's connect every Tuesday right here on Soufriere FM and online. Don't miss it.
Welcome to Let's Connect. Welcome to 88.5 Soufriere FM. My name is Reniata D'Souza and I'm your host for this evening. And my guest tonight is already waiting in our backstage, so to speak, virtually. We'll be introducing her to you in 1 minute. Just wanted to first shout out special good night to all the various communities of Soufriere. We want to say good night to you in Bouton, good night to you in Itangs, good night to you at Margaretut, good night to Barons Drive, those of you at Town Center, Wingsville, Boulevard Street. Good night to everybody in Palmis. Good night to those of you at Forbenier. Good night to New Development. Good night to Fort Saint-Jacques. Good night to Diamond. Good night to all who are listening out of Soufriere. And good night to those of you listening from surrounding islands like St. Vincent. Good night to you, Miss Fancy Bowens. Always keeping it locked. We appreciate you. We want to say good night to those of you who are joining us on Facebook Live, also on our YouTube Live. Thank you so very much for your loyalty to the program, to the Let's Connect program. We are tonight going to be covering some of the latest happenings within the community, within the government, and we'll be joined this evening by our very special guest, the parliamentary representative for Soufriere Fort Saint-Jacques, Honorable Emma Hippolyte. So good night to you, Honorable Emma Hippolyte. Thank you so very much for making the time to be with us on our program.
Good evening, Reniata. Good evening, our Let's Connect family. And again, I want to join you in shouting out our various communities, persons in Palmis, Fontbenier, our dear friend, Mr. Cagney, on the Palmis Road, our friends at Fort Saint-Jacques, our new farmer cooperative grouping, our people at Diamond, our people at Sulphur Springs, people at Conobet, Saint Philippe, Chateau Bel Air, Deville, Esperas, Boisden, Belfont, Barons Drive, Wingsville, New Development, Tong Extension, Bouton, Wavinclair, Zenon, and all our, especially our youth. And I want to shout out in a big way our Carnival Queen contestants, both those who are participating in the pageant in Soufriere. And you know, we have our Miss St. Rose from Soufriere who's going to participate in the national pageant. So I want to say good evening to all of those young persons and to wish everybody well. I also want to take a moment to say hello to the Soufriere SLP constituency group, the executive, to thank them for the work that they continue to do. I want to say good evening to our various committees, stakeholder committees, who are doing different things that we can discuss later on, but they know themselves, those who serve on the various boards, the members of the Soufriere Town Council, board members of the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation, our teachers, our nurses, health workers, the persons who are working at the Soufriere City Council, Town Council, who keep our place clean. In fact, today is our moment to say hello and thank you to everyone and to all our listeners.
All right, welcome once again to our program, and good night to those of you who have joined us on our live. Good night to you, Miss Melanie Hippolyte. Good night to anyone else who's on the live. If you would like to either send any comments or questions for Honorable Emma Hippolyte, or if you would like us to give you a shout out tonight on air, please say something in the chat. We are monitoring our live chats tonight. All right, so we'll go into our first topic for the evening. We wanted to touch base with the fire victims of Mini Jacques. For those of you who were unaware, there was a dwelling which suffered fire damage over the weekend in Mini Jacques. It is a family of six, I believe, four adults, two children, who are currently in a sort of I don't want to say dire straits, but a bit of a situation, who have had quite some things lost in the fire. Miss Hippolyte, did you get an opportunity to visit with the family or to speak with them?
I on the Saturday morning, yes, after church, maybe after 11, I was able to visit the um, I was able to visit Mini. I was able to get up the hill and to actually the fire. There was still some fire in the dwelling house when I got there, but it was completely burnt. When I spoke to the lady in charge, she indicated that it was 8 occupants, Renata, not six.
Okay.
A three-bedroom house with 8 occupants, and they have lost everything. So what I have done is to report the matter to the social development, the SSDF in Castries. And up to this afternoon, I had a conversation with Mr. Victorine, and the family will receive a visit from the team from the SSDF.
Okay. All right. Well, we do want to ask our prayer warriors, especially to lift them up in prayer. And are we able to ask for assistance for them? If anybody can provide them with, do they have shelter? Do they need anything in terms of, is there any small children involved?
So what we'll have to do, Reniata, is our Fonchejak grouping has to get more details, and then we then need to mobilize in addition to whatever assistance they will be getting through the SSDF, because when 8 persons have lost everything that they own, especially clothing and so on, then we've got to move. As well, Reniata, you need to what I remember asking for was for the family to get a copy of the police report, because this is critical for us to move forward.
Mhm.
As you know, even if you have to go to the NCF and other institutions, you need the fire
The
report.
fire reports, the fire report, or the
Yes.
report or the fire report?
Huh?
The
The
fire.
report from it's a report that is done by the St. Lucia Fire Service. They
Okay, so
visited, so they have to give a report.
okay. All right, we will touch base, like you said, with our group, with the Foster group, and we will assist them in facilitating collection of the fire report for the family.
Yes.
Okay, then. So once
Also,
again,
Friday as well. When Friday, I don't know what is wrong. Foshe Jacques seems to have had everything going for them. It's different things were happening over the weekend, because Friday afternoon, before we met with before we did the distribution of fertilizer in Foshe Jacques, there was a car that got burnt in the
I saw that.
near the church.
Mhm.
And again, when we got there, everything came to a halt because the fire service was there trying to extinguish that fire. So this weekend, for Shishak was fire everywhere. Friday, Saturday morning. So we have to be, especially around this time when it is extremely hot, a lot of things can happen. So all of us has to be careful.
Okay. So the fire with the vehicle, did it have something to do with the heat, or Is the
Well,
cause still?
I do not know what caused it, but the vehicle got burnt in the middle of the road, and yeah.
I did catch I did see that there was a video of it. I didn't happen to see. Um, it like you said, Foster Jack was a triple threat over the weekend. There was also another incident that which took place Saturday night. I don't have
Yes.
too many details as to how it happened. I'm not sure if you have
Well,
any comments regarding that situation. Was it something criminal, or was it accidental? Was it
it
domestic?
seems, based on what we gathered on Sunday, it was accidental. I was told that the young lady was at St. Jude's and may have to undergo surgery.
Mhm. Okay, so we do also extend sympathy to that family in regards to that situation which took place in Foster Jack on Saturday night, and also to the owner of the vehicle. I am quite certain that it's quite a big loss in these hard times right now. And I believe that was a crucial part of her business as well, from what I know of the owner of the vehicle. So
Okay.
that's definitely a situation right now. So, for Sejak, we have you in our thoughts, and we ask all our prayer warriors to do the same. We have some persons we need to rally around them and give them as much assistance as possible. So, we will be following up with the various families, and hopefully, we shall get some sort of ease for the fire victims.
Yes.
Um, as well as the incident in Fonsajac on Saturday, there have been several incidents around the island recently. Is there any comments as to what the government has been instituting in terms of curbing crime in St. Lucia?
Well, Renata, you may recall we had this incident in Beaufort where the Prime Minister, the government had to get help from the regional security forces to
Hmm.
try to curb that. And we saw Beaufort coming back because, and then you see it moved from Beaufort to other parts, to other communities. You
Hmm.
see, the challenge that we are facing is a challenge that I would say developed over several years. And to address it, it's my own humble view that it's not an issue that we can address overnight. I believe that it is an issue, the issue of violence in particular, is one where every individual, every adult in this country must take as his or her responsibility. Coming together, working private sector, public sector, government, NGOs, churches, all coming together and saying that the violence that has engulfed this country is unacceptable.
Hmm.
And I believe if we make that first decision and commitment, then we will start looking at ourselves, we will start looking at the people who are wrong us, and gradually we will come together as a nation to address it.
I,
So
I
it requires different groups all coming together. It's not just one group. When you look at what is causing the violence, when you look at the age group, so we have to say, well, what is causing that anger? What is causing us not to be able to sit and discuss when we have a misunderstanding? When you look at some of the recent murder, it was a domestic violence.
Mhm.
Um, the consciousness of both men and women to understand where if you all don't agree with each other, then it is better to part ways than to have this. And when you part ways, that doesn't mean that the issue in terms of relationship, you cannot control one to the extent that you treat the person as a possession. A human being is a human being with a mind to make decisions on his own or on her own. And the key issue is to respect each other and It's unfortunate that you have a young person who has lost her life, left children, and then I'm not sure if whether the person who has committed um, that murder is the father of the children. But then you have a grandmother now with a responsibility. So
Mhm.
now, unless government come in and provide support and counseling to these children very early, then you have another set of problems coming up.
Mhm.
So that is what I'm saying. The entire community, the entire neighborhood, and all of us have to take responsibility. That these children will require a lot of support and love. The grandmother will require a lot of support as well in order to bring up these children in the right way, to cause them not to grow up with hatred in their hearts. So it's a big challenge. It's really a big challenge.
Mhm. And it is true that we definitely need to have more of a community um sort of feeling when it comes to raising children. Going forward, we need more community involvement. One of the things I think we definitely have to eventually, Soufriere will need a community center of sorts. Maybe one in every community, if possible, down the line, so that we can provide the adequate social services. I don't even think that the schools themselves have adequate counseling measures in place. So the incident in Denry and with any other incident in the country, there isn't enough manpower in terms of getting the children the necessary therapy. So I think that's definitely something we need to try and figure out within the community. There needs to be some sort of give and take on both sides. But hopefully we shall be able to implement some social services island wide that will be able to cater to all of these incidents, all of these situations in terms of assistance for grandparents, assistance for single parents, assistance for counseling, couples therapy, maybe. Especially for the children. The children definitely, those that have suffered those traumatizing situations, they will need to have some sort of guidance as they grow, because the one parent might not be able to do it, two parents might not be able to do it, grandparents, aunts, uncles might not be enough. There needs to be some sort of support. So hopefully we're encouraged that the government sees, especially persons like yourself, see that this is necessary, and we're hoping that we'll be able to get there in due time, in due course. um Moving on to, you mentioned in your shout out, you gave a shout out to the Foster Jack Farmers Association.
Yeah.
Last week you did the distribution of fertilizer to 46 members of the Foster Jack Farmers Association. What comments, if any, do you have in regards to the future of food security in Soufriere and in St. Lucia as it stands right now?
Okay. One of the things, first, I must take this moment to thank Honorable Alfred Prosper, who's the Minister for Agriculture, for taking the time out to be with the farmers on Friday afternoon. I think that was very important. I was also pleased that he took time to address them, to speak about the whole issue of food security, which is so important for us, and also to remind the farmers that the farming methods must be sustainable. I think, especially when you in the Foshajak area, those of you who know Foshajak in terms of being prone to landslides and so on, the method of farming has to be sustainable. I was pleased that the Foshajak farmers group, decided to come together because we started communicating with two groups in Foshajak long before elections. We had a younger group, and then you had this group that you had more mature members. And there you see the more mature members coming together, and although they have some young persons with them, which is very encouraging. They now have 46 members. They I want to thank again Mr. Charles Albert, who was also working with them for a little while. So they came together, they launched the group. They have articulated the desire to form a cooperative. So I've sent information over to the cooperative department in my ministry so that they can get the assistance to get themselves registered as a cooperative. Um, they when I sat with the group, they had specific needs, they had specific support. And what we've done, I've again taken notes of the requests and I have passed it on to the Minister for Agriculture. So the first one that we have delivered on is the whole issue of fertilizer. Um, as you know, all our farmers need fertilizer. When I went around on Sunday I made a round between at Mini, Esperance, Boaden. All the farmers were saying, but I am a certified farmer. Why are we not getting? And I had to encourage them to take that moment to encourage them to start forming groups. Because I know and I believe it is easier. It's easier to deliver and to provide and to get support for our farmers or any of, for example, the vendors when they come together in groups. So 36 of these farmers have come together. I know they had a meeting yesterday, Monday afternoon, and when I went around Sunday, I got quite a few names of persons who were interested to form the group, and I did pass it on to them. So I am hoping that the 36 members that we have now is going to grow. The Minister for Agriculture has given a commitment to working with the various groups. So I am encouraging groups in Chateau Bel. I went in and spoke to some people at Esperance. I've gone in and spoke to some people at Boaden. So we are really hoping that the farmers can come together and I'm available to work with them. I know they need support. I am committing to providing them with that support, but I'm saying that it is easier for me if they get themselves into groups and then we deliver. So I'm hoping that we can get some more fertilizer for the farmers, but I want them to get into groups so that it becomes easy. I can go to the Minister of Agriculture and say I have a grouping of 50, a grouping of 100 farmers, and I need you to work with me to get fertilizer for them. I can go to other sources and see how best we can assist, but we need to do it together.
All right. So there you have it. Those of you who are farming in Jacques and environs, please consider joining the Jacques Farmers Association or maybe forming your own association in your area. As we say, strength in numbers. And I love that you related it as well to the Vendors Association because I do believe they're now at over 100 members. And like I
I
said,
am told that 150. I don't know. I do not
I
know
did hear
what
150.
they're selling like that.
That was the official figure or not. So like you said, when you need something, you're capable of making greater impacts when you go as a bigger group. So the persons like the vendors association can get assistance a lot easier because they can go and say I have 150 members with me and this is what we
Yeah,
need.
we can plan training for them, we can provide technical assistance, we can just hold their hands, but we can do it together when they are in a group.
That's right. Earlier tonight, just before we came on, I was listening to the news, and we were pleased to hear about the community business revitalization project that Ministry of Commerce launched. Can you tell us how that will be implemented in Soufriere? I see Soufriere is one of the four communities named. Any
Yes,
guidance from that
and
program, Soufriere?
again, our that is another program, and this time this program is between the government of St. Lucia, the Ministry of Commerce, and again the embassy of China, Taiwan. And again, this is more or less trying to rebrand, focus on marketing of communities. So we have to look at, say, for example, if we take Soufriere, we then have to sit and say, what are the products that Soufriere is well known for. Is it cocoa? Is it breadfruit? Whatever it is, and then we sit and we brand it, and then we look at the MSMEs that we have there, the small businesses there, and provide them with the right training, the right technical skills, the right marketing, the right branding. You know, Reniata, because you have been doing some work with our small businesses in terms, you have been assisting them in terms of preparing the business plans. And you can understand the need for support to the small business persons. Because a lot of them are, when they have figures or a business plan, they cringe, they're afraid. It's a lot of handholding, a lot of encouraging.
Yes.
So therefore, so we taking the idea, building it up, encouraging them, holding their hands, giving them the technical support. That is how we are going to take and grow the business from an idea to a business, and taking the business and presenting, especially our MSMEs, to help them to get into the digital realm. That is important, because we, in order for us to grow, we need to focus on a much wider market than the 185,000 people that we have. And we have to go straight into e-commerce. So that is all the things that we're working on, different programs. But our small businesses need to be conscious of the need for training. They need to be conscious of the need to move into the digital realm. They need to be conscious to be open to greater training and handholding. Our ministry, the government is committed to it. Our Prime Minister is committed to it. We are just looking at how those persons who are receiving the MSME grant, to see if they have to import anything. Our government can assist them in terms of not paying the duty on the item. So all the time we continue to see how we can help these small persons to grow their businesses. We are very committed on that, because the micro and small business sector is the engine of growth for our country. And this is their time. We are focusing on them 100%. So I really want them to focus on themselves 100% of the time. For the first round of our MSME program now, we are told that we might have almost 400 applications being processed. That's quite a bit. Yes.
That's wonderful.
So yes.
In terms of the MSME, you said the first round 400 applications, but the second round, because we already have persons who are getting ready, who have started coming forward, looking forward to going into the second round. Do we have any ideas to the date for that as yet?
Well, originally when we launched, we said the second round would have been about 2 months after the first round. So I'm really hoping people can prepare. But what we're doing now at the ministry is to analyze, input all the 400 applications into our database, so that we have a good appreciation. We get information as to the sectors that we are serving. For example, in the analysis of the first, when we analyzed the first 200 applications, and we started getting some data in terms of sectors. For example, in the agricultural sector, we had about 25 applications. Agro-processing, we had 20. Beauty and wellness, we had 22. Creative industries, we had 17. We had about 26 in manufacturing. We had in professional services, we had about 31. Restaurants, we had 7. So it's just telling us by sector. So, but that was the analysis of the first 200. Then we had about maybe 46 that was sundry. So they have to go back and break that down for us. I suspect in there we'd have a lot of the retail outlets in there as well. So we would have more information after we have completed inputting all of the 400 applications.
Mhm.
Also, we had information as to the areas um, where persons sent the applications. For example, when we looked, uh, Soufriere at the time had about 28 out of
Mhm.
the first 200.
Okay.
And that was the second highest with Rosalie at 33.
Mhm.
And so I'm hoping that at the end of after you've put in 400 in, that at least Soufriere will get itself about 40 applications. I'm really hoping because you
So I think
saw we.
we have close to 50 applications from Soufriere alone.
Do
I'm
you think
quite.
so?
I think so. Yes. Yes. I think
Okay.
if I'm judging by the amount of persons who came through the office either to ask questions or to submit on their own or to collect
Mhm.
forms, we should have persons who submitted themselves that didn't come through the office to submit. So
Uh-huh.
I'm hoping I'm looking at least 50. I'm quite certain we should get close to 50 at least.
Well, I
For
would be very happy if that is so, because as you know, we want to focus on the business. But what we are also going to do is to continue our mobilization. There are areas that are lagging behind. For example, like tomorrow evening, the group is going to Deriso to have what we had in Soufriere, the business forum, to
okay.
encourage persons to speak to them, to encourage them.
Mhm.
So that is important for us. We want the small business person to to grow, and that is our effort in doing so.
Mhm.
We really want to prepare them. Later on, we'll have to look at how they're doing the accounting. We'll be monitoring, and people need to understand that after we have given you that help, we will be monitoring.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it is good that if you have a challenge as well, that you scream, that you can provide it with the technical support that is necessary.
All right.
So,
Well,
Renata, one of the things that I also, while we're on MSME and business, I really want to take this moment to encourage our young persons now to apply to the youth economy. This is very, very important. I'm not sure what is the feedback we're getting at the office, but we need to hit the ground running on that one.
yes, yes, for sure. Um, yes. Sorry about that. We had to we had a little bit of a thing in the situation. Okay, so yes, we do want to encourage our young persons to get involved with the youth economy grant applications. Do we know whether or not there is a deadline? I don't believe I've heard of a deadline as yet.
No, and that's what I'm saying. That is why we have to do what we have to do, because if they cut it off, then those who are already in front is,
Yes. So
yeah,
just let persons know the youth economy is open to young entrepreneurs between the ages of 18 and 35. And
yes.
there's technically six requirements, but only three of them are absolutely necessary. That is, you need to have a copy of a national ID. You need a CV or bio or resume for yourself, and you need to provide pro forma invoices or what we call open bills or quotations for the items that you are interested in purchasing for your business or for you to start up a business. And the maximum amount of money you can receive from the youth economy grant is $5,000. And we
So,
are persons in the office. But if you would like to apply yourself or if you want to look at the application yourself, you go to www.youtheconomy.lc. And once again, we are able to assist you at the Suffolk constituency office.
okay, I think that's extremely important. It is a lifeline for a lot of our young persons. So we really hope that they take this moment to think of businesses, think of creative ways, use their skills properly, so that they can have an income.
Mhm. And also,
That
the
is
youth
very
economy also has currently they have an internship program available. I wasn't able to get all the information today from one of the directors I was trying to reach in terms of what the requirements are, but there is an internship program available for the summer. I will try to get some details and have it posted to our Soufriere constituency office page, in terms of the duration of the program, where exactly it will be taking place, and if there are any requirements in terms of your ability to sign up. But you can get more information on the youth economy page as well, especially get the application form if you're interested in applying.
And Renata, if I can recall, in that flyer there was a deadline.
I do believe so.
It was the
Um,
17th something. To me, I don't know. To
I
me,
think it's
there was
Friday.
a deadline.
I think it's Friday. Friday is the deadline.
Yes, so we really have to encourage persons because today is Tuesday.
Hmm.
So and it was targeting three areas. Persons who are at the last was it Form 5 or Form 4 of the secondary schools, that's persons who are about leaving school.
Hmm.
And
School
then
leave.
you had persons who were at Safa Lewis, and then you
Hmm.
had persons who were on holidays from university, if I could remember the flyer.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that detail there, they need to is targeting three levels. I know at our ministry we are also focusing on we have an apprentice youth apprentice program, but it's only focusing on students at the secondary school.
Hmm.
And there is a quota. I believe they're working directly with the schools to get the children onto that program.
Okay. Speaking of directly with the secondary schools, there's also a QVT is QVT training program available from the Ministry of Education. I think it's QVT. I don't think it's CVQ. CVQ.
Hmm?
Some, there's a training program
I know
available.
there's something called CVQ,
I think it's
not
CVQ.
QPT.
It's CVQ,
CVQ.
yes. So it's a CVQ program, training program. It's a free program available through the Ministry of Education, and forms can be collected from the ministry directly. I'm not sure if they've provided it directly to the schools, but there is a program available for free training. There are a variety of training programs, so you can check out those of you interested in a free training program, school leavers, persons who are currently unemployed. There is a free program, CVQ. I heard that the courses are very interesting, so you can take a look at that if that's something that you're interested in. If you want to get some training for free, you get something. Don't want to be idle.
But Renata, I think you should also research this and get some more information at the office. Because the same thing, if you did not target the businesses, you will not have had 50. You literally have to go around targeting our young people. So go through that website, see what it is, and then we need to get them
Well,
in,
the
hold
CVQ
their
one doesn't
hands.
have a website. I wish they did. If they had they didn't have a website. It was just a notice to collect the applications. So I'll have to probably make a call to Ministry of Education to get some more information on that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we'll work on those, and we will be posting to the Suffolk constituency group Facebook page. So we encourage persons to follow that page and keep an eye out so that you may receive that information. We want to say good night to those of you who just joined us on our Facebook Live. We want to say good night to Miss Janice James, Miss Philomena Lamontine. Good night to you guys. We want to say good night to all those of you who have not commented but are um, giving us your full attention. We want to thank you for that. Once again, you're listening to Let's Connect on 88.5 Soufriere FM. And our guest this evening, Honorable Emma Hippolyte, Parliamentary Representative for Soufriere Force de Jacques, also our Minister for Commerce. So we've been been discussing a variety of topics tonight, and we were just speaking on the various programs available for the youth. And also, we recently touched base on those for entrepreneurs, small businesses, micro and small enterprises. So, we have quite a few programs and initiatives by the government of St. Lucia currently available. And we encourage persons, young and old. We have programs available for persons all the way up to 60. So, don't think we're leaving you out. So from 18 and up, we have programs available for you in terms of training, in terms of getting assistance for entrepreneurship and for small businesses. So please take advantage. If you need any assistance or you have any questions, if you're confused about any of the things being offered, you can visit the Super Constituency office for more information. You can check out our Facebook page, Soufriere Constituency Group, as well as WhatsApp us on 731 3234 with any questions that you may have. Okay. Honorable Emma Hippolyte, while we have you, we do know that there's quite a few programs coming up in terms of developments within Soufriere. One of which we have, I do believe there have been two public meetings in Soufriere regarding the GPH Global Ports Holdings program for the wharf, for the waterfront. Can you tell us where we're at with that program?
Okay. Renata, I know that the negotiating team had meetings up to this week. I do not have a final decision. I do not know what the final decision is as to where the status is, but I know they continue. The government negotiating team and the GPH team continue to have conversation, but we have not had a report in the cabinet as to where exactly it is. I think maybe at our next session, we would have a better idea of, because at the moment they're crossing their I's and dotting the T's in terms of that document. What I have received was, I have received from GPH, Dr. Matthews, based on the last meeting he had, he with the at the Cool Breeze Center, where person sort of commented in terms of the use of the bay and the protected areas and so on. So what he has done was to send some amended renderings in terms of some of the infrastructure to be placed in the waters, for example, shifting of the jetties and things like that. So they continue to work in terms of what the physical drawings and everything look like, and the negotiating team are also working to finalize what's supposed to be the national agreement. Because don't forget, it's not only Soufriere, it's Castries and other ports that they're looking at.
Mhm. That's okay. All right, great. So at least we know that we're going to get
Work
proper
continues.
and in terms of what areas can be and cannot be touched in terms of the SMMA, the waters, the dwarf, and all
That's
of that.
right. So I just want to let people know that based on the last meeting and the issues that were brought up concerning the areas to be left untouched for the super fishes and so on, that GPH has gone back. They have taken the information that was presented at the meeting and they have amended some of the drawings.
Okay, great, wonderful. At a previous meeting, you had mentioned plans for a solar program within Soufriere for public buildings. Is there any update on that program?
Well, I know that for the public buildings, that solar project that is being funded by the World Bank, the initiation, based on the discussion I had with the people at the Ministry of Infrastructure, the project would have started in July. So they're going to start that project in July, God willing.
Okay, all right. Have the buildings for Soufriere been identified?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. I think we at least six buildings, the stadium, the hospital, some of the health centers, and I'm speaking just from memory because I don't have the notes, but they have identified the buildings.
Awesome. Okay, great. That's wonderful to hear. I do believe, I think at least if the hospital alone should be a relief to a lot of people, that they'll be getting that sort of retrofitting. Mm. I do believe at a meeting you made mention of roadworks at is it Chateaubel or Forgelib? Um, that is
Okay.
approaching 6 months.
As you know, the budget was passed. There's significant roadworks that is needed. I had a meeting Monday evening with the Minister for Infrastructure, and we agreed we discussed quite a few outstanding things that had to, between the Ministry of Infrastructure that is impacting the Soufriere constituency. The minister has asked me for a listing of the roads that needs to receive attention. In fact, before leaving the office today, in this evening, I just edited the listing of roads that I believe we need to pay attention to. The first on the list is that Itangs Fongelib Road, because you know that road has been closed for a little while.
Mhm.
Um, we had an extremely costly, whatever the intervention there is extremely costly, but it is the first on the list to be done. And we think that we're going to do that soonest. We put down quite a few roads. We've put down the Bouton Main Road. We've put on all the roads in Wingsville. Wingsville Road is extremely bad. Some roads in new development, some of the roads at the back of new development that has not happened. Some roads in Tongue Extension, the Riverside Road, so significant roads. Diamond, the Esperance Road, the last concrete road that was done by the last administration, and they did not put the drains. And because these drains are not there, we've been told that this road is being undermined in a significant way. So we've put it back on. We've put in some roads for Foshajak. We're trying to see whether we can do the Belvedere Road. And Chateau Bel Air, all of Chateau Bel Air, Belfond, Boisden Road. I was on the road up to Sunday. It is in poor shape.
So they'll
So
be
we
they'll
put
be happy to hear that. And to somebody
the,
mentioned what
The Lenny Hills Road, the roads in Fontaine. So it's a whole list of roads. Bouton, and so it's quite a bit. So I'm really praying and keeping my fingers crossed that the minister can get, with the help of Mr. Rock on the ground, costing so that we can start some of those road works. The other area for us as well is there were quite a few persons who were calling about block culverts, especially as we get into the rainy season. So we've put down whatever information I've had. And remember, I also ask our various committees to identify areas that they are aware of so that we can add to that list.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure, did they send you anything in additional information?
I have not received anything additional. The words that have been commented to me was, like I said, Waden, Lenny's Hill was mentioned today as well. I see Mrs. Joan Hippolyte posted here the Dewash Road to the Agro-Tourism Park. I'm not sure if you have that one on your list.
Well, we have the rush for a few things. We've done quite a bit of drainage work there, and we're hoping to put some guardrails at the top. So yes, the Derash Road is on the list.
Mhm. Oh, well, I have
I'm
not
not
received
sure how much we can do because that Derash Road is a very long road,
it.
but it will receive some attention.
Okay. Before we continue, the president of the Soufriere Vendors Association has informed me that Ministry of Tourism is offering training for craft vendors in customer service. It is a 2-day training and registration can be done at the Soufriere Town Council. So craft vendors who are interested in receiving that training from the Ministry of Tourism, it is a 2-day training in customer service. You can register at the Soufriere Town Council.
But Renata, thanks for that information. But the president should ensure that all the craft vendors who are members of her association participate in the training. That's it.
Mrs. Prosper, you are
That's
definitely
it.
hearing. So please take note to have your vendors
Because
consider
you
this.
see, because the vendors, because that is what it is. Because you're bringing the level of vending. So the members who have registered as craft vendors, they should take this opportunity to improve their customer service. So all of them should be participating.
All right. So take that as your encouragement, craft vendors, especially those of you who have not yet registered for the training. Please register, consider it mandatory training. Take your 2 days and get your
And
certification in
and
customer
and
service.
and that's the other thing, because technically what ought to have happened is all the vendors should participate, because all of them are selling, all of them need customer service.
I think it's just been offered for craft vendors initially by the ministry.
I know, but I'm saying that is what the president should be doing, should be negotiating so that the other members get it. Because all of them are selling, all of them need customer service.
Right. We have not too much minutes left, but I would like to. I know initially in your intro you did give a shout out to the carnival pageant contestants, both the ones for the Soufriere Carnival Queen Show and the National Carnival Queen Pageant. We have a
Yes,
contestant representing Soufriere as well. Um, do
Miss
we
and
have
Rose. So I
any?
wish you well.
Yes, we do wish her all the very best. I did see that she hosted all the contestants at Stonefield for a paint and sip, and it seems everybody was very well impressed with Soufriere. So kudos to her on that. Do we have any information as to whether or not you are going to be a judge for the pageant?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Woo. No, no, no. I'm actually traveling out on Sunday, but I will definitely try to be at the pageant on on Saturday.
Mm.
So I'm watching to see the talent and everything else. So I want to thank the Carnival Committee, Mr. Auger, and the team at the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation and the Events Committee and the Carnival Committee for the effort to put in that show together. So I want to encourage persons to go in and support.
Mhm. Tickets are $75. Early bird has ended. Early bird is sold out. So the regular tickets are $75. So get your tickets and support the
Where is
Soufriere
the pageant?
Carnival Queen pageant. It's taking place at the stadium.
Oh, okay.
Yes. All right. Finally, on tonight's program, I want to extend deepest, my biggest congratulations to Julian Alfred, who has won 3 more races, and she did so on her birthday as well. So, we want to wish happy birthday to Julian Alfred, who is quite on her way to being recognized as a national hero. I think at this point in sports. Do you have anything to say on that?
Well, yes. Also, I watched the replay. Also, to commend her on it. And what has been good is that she's been consistent of late in terms of her performance. And I think that's a good example for our other athletes and young persons, to encourage them to say, well, you too can reach that level and beyond if you apply yourself. And that is where that is application. If you apply yourself to be consistent and to reach for the sky. I want to wish Miss Alfred well. We are hoping that as she gets into professional things, that the government, I want to commend as well the Minister of Sport, the former Minister of Sports, and this one, for continuing investing in Miss Alfred and our other athletes. I really want to thank them for that, and to encourage others. We have Gassi in cricket, and others, our young sports person, to take sports seriously.
That's right. I want to shout out our super sportsmen and women, our young persons coming up in the sport world as well. We do have some national level, national quality athletes here in Soufriere. We want to big up all the coaches. We want to give a special shout out to the manager for the Soufriere Stadium, Mr. Nimaya Saint Jean. Big up to you guys on the wonderful work that you are doing. And you can always follow his page as well. He usually posts about our local athletes and what they're doing, as well as the Soufriere Youth and Sports committee. We want to give them a big shout out as well. Keep doing what you're doing, encouraging the youth of Soufriere to do well in sports. We have two other reminders. The all members of the Soufriere Vendors Association are asked to attend a general meeting on Wednesday, June 14th at the St. Isidore Hall on Boulevard Street in Soufriere. Time is 4 p.m. That is tomorrow, Wednesday, the 14th of June. Soufriere Vendors Association general meeting at 4 p.m. at the St. Isidore Hall.
Renata, I would like to comment a bit. You know, about how many weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, where we had the meeting with the 50 unemployed youth. I think
Yes.
we need to just to encourage them. You know, we have set up a special committee to work with them. Um, Only today I had a meeting with Mr. John Victorin to try to see of the SSDF to see what are we going to put in place for these young persons. I also had a meeting with the owners of the various hotels, so they too are putting a program together. I think we have a follow-up meeting on Friday, God willing, on this. So I just want to tell the young persons that we are working for them and with them, and then pretty soon we will be sharing with them a program. Now, we called and only 50 young persons attended, but that means that we will be opening that up to other young persons. So they either have to come and register with you, Renata, if that is so, put a thing together. We will move into the various communities to identify young persons. And we started with young men, afterwards we'll follow with young women. But it is our commitment to work with the young people, to get them trained and to get them whether to start a business on their own or to get employment. But we will be focusing on young persons this year. It is the year of the youth, and we are committed to working with them.
Right, wonderful. So that is wonderful news in terms of, like we said, the year 2023 is the year of the youth, and we definitely need to focus on helping them get to a better place in our society. Update on that meeting for the Vendors Association. It has actually been postponed to the 20th of June. That is Tuesday, the 20th of June at the Soufriere Infant School at 4 p.m. Infant school or primary school? Um, Mrs. Prosper, is it the infant school or primary school? I think you mean the primary school. But it is taking place on the 20th of June. Okay, so we should hopefully be getting that information, accurate information out there before that date. Okay, so and also just a quick reminder that the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation scholarship and bursary program for 2023 is open. Application forms are available at the office on Bay Street. Okay, so yes, definitely the Vendors Association meeting. It's taking place on the 20th at the Soufriere Infant School at 4 p.m. All right, okay. So we definitely have that information accurate now. It is on the 20th. Okay. All
Okay.
right. So any final thoughts, final shout outs?
Only I started having a conversation with our police officers, and I want to continue that. I also want to say we didn't. I think we forgot to mention, Reniata, the work that we are going to do by the park in new development next to Meadows.
Yes, yes.
So I want to inform persons that within a short period of time, you will start seeing some work happening in this park. And what is happening there is the NIC is going to assist us. They are going to install what you call the outdoor gym equipment on that park for us. Persons from Fontbenier as well will start seeing. I think we've started work on the Fontbenier Park as well. And we are taking steps to see how we can start the Zeno multipurpose court. So what we are attempting to do is to have a project in each community We are just about finishing the Bouton um, Community Center as well.
Awesome. Wonderful, wonderful updates for the Soufriere Forsaja constituency. I want to thank you, Honorable Emma Hippolyte, for taking the time out to be on our Let's Connect program this evening. And we want to thank all our listeners on 88.5 Soufriere FM. And those of you who were on our live, we want to thank you so very much. And we appreciate your participation as well in the Let's Connect live chat. We want to encourage you to return to our program next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. And we're going to have some more updates and community information for you. Until then, we want to encourage everyone to enjoy the rest of the night. Good night to all.
Good evening, all.
88.5 Soufriere FM presents Let's Connect every Tuesday from 5:30 p.m. with your host Reniata D'Souza. Also live on Facebook. Be sure to tune in as we present you with updates on local activities, events, businesses, initiatives, and upcoming opportunities for all. Let's connect every Tuesday right here on Soufriere FM and online. Don't miss it.
My mommy protected me and my little nephew when she got vaccinated.
My doctor is protecting me. She's vaccinated.
My aunt protected me when she got vaccinated.
COVID-19 vaccines are available for people from the age of 12 years and older. Being vaccinated against the virus does not only protect you, it also makes our country safer for those who cannot receive the vaccine.
Vaccinate for you, for yours, for us.
I'm Genevieve Gonzague, and I've spent the past 2 years working the beat as a television news reporter at a national level. But my heart remained in Soufriere. Now, I'm bringing the spotlight to you in the Soufriere FM news package. Join me every weekday at 1 p.m. for news that matters to you. We're covering the Southwest region like never before. I'm Genevieve Gonzague, and these are your headlines.
Where we say good morning to you. Welcome inside another edition of the Traffic Mix. You know how we do. Destination 2 o'clock. Hey, my name is Hippolyte Soufriere, and of course, we're inside this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday morning.
Only Vibes Beats.
Apart from playing music that persons will dance to, love, enjoy, I love to be very informative. I like to inform the audience, you know, as to what's happening around that. Alright, what's trending, whether it's locally, internationally, regionally, you know, people have to know what's happening. You understand? Certain things you might not know that's trending. Yeah, man, that's what we're here for. Keep you guys in the loop, let you know what's happening. Alright? I consider myself to be versatile. You know, you understand? I'm always trying to better myself one way or another. Folks, if it's on a Monday up until a Friday, we have it covered.
I go by the name of Miguel Daisy. Stage name, Energy Buzz, radio name as well. What is different about my show is that it is full of energy, like my name says it all. Full of vibes. My show basically starts from 2 to 6 on a daily, Monday to Friday, Saturdays, weekly 2 to 6. It's called the Energy Drive. What it entails is like I like to introduce people to new music. I like to educate them on the artists as well. what's new, what's trending in the musical industry. Right now we're 12 years in the making, and we as a team look to get bigger and stronger. I've just been doing music my entire life. I don't know anything else but music. So I could say music saved my life as well. So tune in to Soufriere FM every single weekday from Monday to Friday with me, yours truly, Energy Buzz with the Energy Drive. You see, I'm so super excited. So this is the excitement that I want to share with you guys. So make sure you tune in to Soufriere FM 88.5 with yours truly, Energy Buzz, 2 to 6 from Monday to Friday. Saturdays it fluctuates. You can either catch me from 9 a.m. or from 1 p.m. Alright, so make sure, share the love.